Ms. Stone, any issues before we bring the jury back in this afternoon?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kading. Mr. Larry, thank you. Please bring the jury in.
Your Honor, permission to give my witness.
Yes, please. And officer, if you'll come through the middle, but you can come forward, please. Forward, please. And you're welcome to come forward and have a seat.
Thank you.
Yes. Please be seated. Members of the jury, at this time we are going to proceed with the direct examination of the witness. Ms. Zoe, you may continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. And Officer Hang, earlier when you testified, you mentioned that earlier in the morning hours of October 18th, you had taken a call at the Ollie's residence regarding a runaway. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, and I believe you testified earlier that when you arrived at the Ollie residence, you had contacted Mr. Ollie.
I did.
Okay, and during your conversation with Mr. Ollie, when he reported his daughter Fatima as a runaway, did he at that time had an idea on who she might have been with when she ran away?
Yes.
And who did Mr. Ollie think that his daughter was with?
He believed her to be with Isaiah.
Okay. And did you have a conversation with Mr. Ali about his thoughts on the fact that he believed that Fatima was with Isaiah?
Yes.
Okay. And what was that? Can you describe the conversation, please?
Yes. So he explained to me the last time that he had located Fatima in kind of a similar incident, that he had located her at Isaiah's parents' house.
Okay. And then fast forward, when you you indicated that when you arrived at the scene of the bus stop, you observed that Mr. Ali was pinned down on the ground. I believe that was your testimony. Is that right?
Correct.
And after your arrival, did you separate him from the group of people that was gathering around at that point?
I did.
And Fatima Ali, when you arrived at the scene of the bus stop, was she present?
No.
Okay. And what about Isaiah Williams? Was he present at the bus stop when you arrived on scene?
No.
Okay. And during the course of your investigation, were you able to determine where Fatima and Isaiah were when you arrived at the bus stop?
I did.
Okay, and where were they?
They were inside of Timberline High School.
Okay. And then after your arrival to the bus stop scene, at some point the other Lacey officers arrive.
Correct.
And was it one other officer that arrived or several?
Oh, there are several.
Okay. Do you remember approximately how many?
Just to name a few: Sergeant Newcomb, Landworld, Corporal Perneda, Corporal Stanford. It was me, Officer Chavez, Officer Bell, Officer Dawes, and a few others.
Okay.
Officer Beltran.
Okay. And you testify that when you arrived at the bus stop, there was a group of individuals that was at the bus stop already. Did they appear to you to be students or were they adults?
I at that time I couldn't tell. I think there was a mixture of both.
Okay. And did any of the officers speak to any of the individuals that were at the bus stop?
They did.
Okay, and who was the officer that spoke with some of the individuals?
Officer Chavez and Officer Bell spoke with some of those folks.
Okay. And then you testified that when you got to the bus stop, you learned that Fatima and Isaiah were inside Timberline High School. Do you know if any officers spoke with them?
Yes.
And who was that spoke with them?
It was School Resource Officer Beltran.
Okay. And the individual that was holding Mr. Ali down when you first arrived at the bus stop, who was that individual?
That was Mr. Wagner.
And did you at some point speak to Mr. Wagner?
I did.
And did he, without going into what he specifically told you, was he able to sort of tell you what his observations were of what had occurred at the bus stop?
Yes.
Okay. And you testify that Officer Beltran was the officer that spoke with Fatima and Isaiah when they were contacted at Timberline High School. Do you know whether after Officer Beltran spoke to them, whether he updated you on what Fatima and Isaiah had told him about what had occurred?
He did.
Okay. And did your involvement in this case conclude at that point, after you spoke with Mr. Wagner at the bus stop?
It did not.
Okay, and where did you go next?
Later that evening, I went to St. Peter's Hospital.
Okay, and what was the purpose of going to St. Peter's Hospital?
It was to speak with CPS and to get a recorded statement from Fatima herself.
Okay, and where did you contact Fatima?
I was in the emergency department.
Okay. You're under permission to approach the witness.
You may.
Officer Hang, I'm showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 35. Do you recognize what I've handed you?
Yes.
And what is it?
It's a photo of Fatima at the hospital.
And does Exhibit 35, the photo of Fatima, does that accurately depict the condition that she was in when you interviewed her?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, the state offers for admission to evidence Exhibit 35.
Any objection, Mr. Kading?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Larry? Number 35 shall be admitted.
Permission to publish.
You may publish.
Officer Hang, showing you what's been admitted as State's Exhibit 35, can you tell the jury what they're looking at in this photograph?
That's a photo of Fatima.
Okay, and when you indicated that you contacted Fatima in the emergency department at St. Peter's Hospital, did you contact her in a room in the emergency department or sort of just in the lobby area?
It was in that room.
Okay. And then what was her demeanor like when you spoke with her?
Pretty weak, pretty tired.
Okay. And what did you hear or observe that made you think that she was weak and tired?
When we started the interview, she was just very soft-spoken, had a little bit of a raspy voice, and I had to continually kind of move my phone closer and closer to her so I can get a good recorded statement.
Okay. And without telling the jury what Fatima said during your interview with her, was she able to tell you what had transpired on October 18th, that
Yeah.
letter to the hospital?
Yes.
Okay, and without telling the jury what she said to you, was she also able to relate to you whether she had any pains or injuries?
Yes.
Okay. And after contacting Fatima at the hospital, did you contact anyone else?
I did.
And who did you make contact with?
Later that evening, CPS arrived, and then as well as Isaiah and his mom.
Okay. And when Isaiah and his mother arrived at the hospital, did you also speak to them?
I did.
And when you spoke with Isaiah, what, if anything, did he provide you or did he show you?
He showed me a video of the incident
The incident that happened where?
at Timberline High School.
Okay. And were you able to obtain a copy of that video?
I did.
Okay. And after speaking with Isaiah and his mother, what did you do after that?
I transferred custody to CPS, and I cleared the scene of
Okay.
the hospital.
Who did you transfer custody to CPS to?
Fatima.
Okay. And Officer Hang, are you also aware of a no contact or a temporary protection order that was entered that related to this case?
Yes.
Okay. Under permission to approach the witness.
You may.
Officer Hang, I'm showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 36. If you could look at that exhibit and let me know when you're done looking through it.
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay, and do you recognize what I've handed you?
I do.
And what is it?
It's a temporary protection order and hearing notice.
Okay, and if you could turn to the very back of that order, does that order appear to be certified?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time, the state offers for admission to evidence Exhibit 36.
Any objection, Mr. Kading?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Larry?
No, Your Honor.
36 shall be admitted.
Permission to publish.
You may publish.
And Officer Hain, before I publish Exhibit 36, let me ask you just a few more follow-up questions. Exhibit 36, does that temporary protection order have personal information of different parties that is indicated on the order?
Yes.
Okay, and does it include individuals' date of birth?
Yes.
Okay. And does it also include their address?
Yeah, so the one that I looked at, yep.
Okay. Your Honor, permission to publish Exhibit 36.
You may publish.
I'm showing you what's been marked as what is page 1 of Exhibit 36. Officer Hain, can you tell the jury where this order was issued from?
It was Superior Court of Washington, County of Thurston.
Okay. And then can you indicate, according to the order, when the order was issued? Okay, I'm going to move it just a little bit.
Okay, so October 14th, 2024.
Okay. And then how long is the order to last?
Till the hearing date, so October 24th, 2024.
Okay. And who was the petitioner that was seeking? Respondent, who is listed as a respondent or the restrained party in this case?
Zahraa Ali.
Okay. And who does the protection order protect? Who is prohibited from having contact with Isaiah according to this temporary protection order?
Zahraa Ali.
I'm showing you the bottom of page 4 of exhibit 36. Does it, besides prohibiting Mrs. Ali from contacting Isaiah, does it also indicate any locations that she is prohibited from contacting?
Yes.
And what are those locations? Officer Hang, do you know whether this temporary protection order was ultimately served on Mrs. Ali?
I do.
Okay, and how do you know that it was served on Mrs. Ali?
Because I served it.
Okay. And when you, after you served the temporary protection order, did you also have to file a proof of service?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, permission to approach the witness.
You may.
Handed you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 37. If you could look through that exhibit and let me know when you're done looking through it.
I'm done.
Okay, and do you recognize what I've handed you?
I do.
And what is it?
This is the proof of service.
Okay, and if you could flip to the very back of Exhibit 37, does that appear to be a certified copy of the proof of service?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, the state offers for admission to evidence Exhibit 37.
Any objection, Mr. Kading?
No.
Mr. Leary?
No, Your Honor.
37 shall be admitted.
Permission to publish.
You may publish.
And Officer Hang, just a few more follow-up questions before I publish Exhibit 37. Does Exhibit 37 also contain personal identifying information of individuals listed on this proof of service?
It does.
Okay. Showing you page 1 of Exhibit 37. Can you tell the jury when the order was served?
It was served October 16th, 2024.
Okay. And who did you serve the order on?
It was served on to Zahraa Ali.
Okay. And then where did you serve the order? Mrs. Ali, what was her reaction?
She seemed a little surprised by it.
Okay. And was your service of the temporary protection order also captured on your body-worn camera?
It was.
Okay. Permission to approach the witness.
You may.
Officer Hang, I've handed you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 38. Do you recognize what I've handed you?
I do.
Okay, and what is Exhibit 38?
It was a copy of my body cam.
Okay, and is what's contained on Exhibit 38 a accurate, what's contained on Exhibit 38, does it accurately depict the conversation you had with Mrs. Ali when you served on her the temporary protection order?
Yes.
Okay, Your Honor, at this time, the state offers for admission into evidence Exhibit 38.
Any objection, Mr. Kading?
No, Your
Mr. Leary?
No, Your Honor.
38 shall be admitted.
Your Honor, permission to publish.
You may publish.
And Officer Hang, before publishing this exhibit, just a few more follow-up questions. When you served the order on Mrs. Ali, was someone else from the household also present?
Yes,
And do you know what the relationship was between Mrs. Ali and that individual?
I do.
And what was their relationship?
It was Mrs. Ali's daughter.
Okay. Was it Fatima Ali?
No.
Okay.
Hey, so I have some court documents here that I need to give you. You know what this is about for any reason? You're not in trouble. So it sounds like somebody filed a petition for an anti-harassment against it. You know anything about that? So you can take a look at it, right? So it's a temporary protection order. I don't know if you know these folks at all. Yeah, that's fine. And I'm assuming maybe I don't know if you know these folks. So it's saying like don't make contact with these people in any way. Don't call them, talk to them.
That's what it's about?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you do, then you're subject to like arrest, right?
So, this person goes with my sister, her daughter.
Okay. Go
To school.
or something. Something
Yeah.
happened.
Something happened, yeah.
So something happened with the school to now where the parents want to get involved and they're saying,
You coming from school, I say?
you can look at it. So if you look at the petition, what they wrote in the back.
You come you from school?
Me?
Yes.
No, from Lacey Police.
Okay, and then why you tell me for this? Then she not going to school no more.
Okay, which is fine. If she's not going to school anymore, then
Yes.
yeah, just whatever you do, don't talk to these people. And
No,
you're,
I'm not talking.
Oh.
and yeah,
I
and
know.
you should be fine.
So this position, do we have to go to court for this?
Yeah, it looks like there's a hearing, right? So 24th.
24th is.
If she wants to contest it, right? If she says I don't care, because this is a temporary, so it's just good up into the court date. So it's like 2 weeks usually.
Is it required or is there an option for her to not to go?
I would call these numbers.
Uh-huh.
If you don't go, the protection order will be usually it'll be granted. So it'll say for a year or whatever. So this is a temporary. If she doesn't go, she doesn't contest it. They'll say okay, it's permanent. So now you cannot ever again make contact with these people. Can't talk to them. Can't email them. Anyway. Does that make sense? I mean, they'll know better if you call those numbers.
Okay, so.
These people, the family
Yeah.
court deed,
Yeah.
they tell you court.
They go to the courts, yeah, and the
Oh.
courts give it to us to give to you.
Okay.
Alright, so right now it's civil, it's nothing criminal, but if you violate it by contacting them or making any contact, then it is criminal, right? So you could go to jail if you come in
She
contact.
or my dog, her dog.
It's, the petition is between them and your mom, it looks
Only
like.
her?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's your chance to go to the court and tell them this is what happened, like, you know.
okay. Okay, and they said if you don't go, then they will say that you cannot copy them at all.
Yeah, if you don't go, you choose not to go, saying you're not gonna contest it, then it'll, instead of a temporary, like, it'll be a permanent thing, to where you can never contact those people.
Okay.
What about them? Is not coming
Yeah, they shouldn't, but it's not,
here? If you coming here, what I do?
You can call us, yeah. If they come here to start an argument, something, and you don't want them, and this is your property, your house, so yeah, you can call us and tell them to get off first, right? Tell them to leave. If they refuse to leave, then yeah, call us and,
Yeah.
because this is your house, you have a right to be here and to be at peace in your own place,
How
so,
many times he come here?
yeah. So,
Okay.
okay.
So it's not a jail thing.
Not at this time, but again, yeah, if you violate it, then it does become a jail thing, right? So,
Yeah, I never look at her.
Oh, I thought I said that she wants it. Anyways, I have class later.
yeah.
I just try to explain it to her.
Okay.
Okay, but I think I got it.
Yeah, never read it through all the way, right?
No further questions at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Kading, any cross-examination?
Yes, Your Honor, just a few questions. Good afternoon, officer.
Good afternoon.
I just wanted to clarify, on the 18th of October, you were on shift at what time?
I started at 6:30.
Okay. And you remember the first call you got from Mr. Ali regarding his daughter?
Yes,
Okay, and did you go to the house and talk to him?
I believe I started with a phone call first.
Okay, do you recall what time that was?
I don't.
Okay. Was it fairly soon after you started on shift that morning?
Could have been 8 or 9, I believe.
Okay. And at that time, he indicated to you he was concerned that his daughter was missing?
Correct.
Okay. And did you talk to him about looking for his daughter?
I did.
Okay. And when you told him that, did he say he was going to be looking for his daughter?
Objection calls for hearsay.
Sustained.
All right. So, did he ask you what his options were?
Objection calls for hearsay.
Sustained.
Did he inquire of you if he had options?
Objection calls for hearsay.
Sustained.
Your Honor, if we could have a sidebar for 1 moment, please.
All right. Members of the jury, we are going to have a brief Mr. Kading, you may continue.
Thank you. Officer, you then went back to the house a second time? Or you went to the house
Correct.
after that, is that right?
Correct.
And what time was that?
I can't recall, maybe 10, 11.
Okay. During the morning, did you make any attempts to locate Fatima?
I did.
Okay. And what attempts did you make?
I checked Isaiah's house, contacted his mom, contacted Timberline High School, and then he also mentioned that she was in the area.
Calls for hearsay.
Sustained, as to non-responsive as to what was said.
Okay, so you said you checked Isaiah's house, Timberline High School. Where else did you look?
Safeway?
And when you contacted Timberline High School, did you talk to anyone there?
I didn't specifically. Isaiah's mom was on the phone while I was at her house.
Okay, you said you contacted Timberline High School.
I'll rephrase. I was on scene at Isaiah's mom's house when she called to check. So it was believed.
Non-responsive. Sustained.
Okay, let me see if we can clarify this. So did you personally call Timberline High School?
I did not.
Okay. Did anyone from Timberline High School personally contact you?
No.
All right. And so is it fair to say then up until 2 o'clock approximately you did not know where Fatima was that day?
Correct.
When you filed the report with, did you file a report with your office regarding either a runaway or a missing person?
Yes.
What did you file?
I had dispatch first put her in as a runaway,
Okay.
NCIC, WASIC, and then I requested that they send out an attempt to locate. So if any law enforcement agency contacted someone that, given that description and or run a name, that they would come back as a runaway.
Okay. And you did that at what time?
I don't recall.
Was it before 10 o'clock?
No, I
Was
don't
it-
believe so.
So was it before noon?
I don't recall.
You don't recall when you put that in?
I don't.
Okay. All right. And you went through, noted on direct examination, you'd gone through a bunch of training, right?
Yes.
Okay. Is one of the parts of your training learning what something called Bodycam is?
Not at Academy, no.
Okay. Have you had subsequent training regarding what Bodycam is?
Just basic
Okay, basic. Where did you have the training?
at the police station.
Okay. And who gave you training on that?
I don't recall.
Was it a doctor?
I don't believe so.
Was it an officer?
I don't recall.
Okay. But you know what Bodycam is apparently.
Just some signs of it.
Okay. I'm noting in your report, we can pull this out for you. Hang on just a minute. Look at that. Small. Airport number 503. Your Honor, if I may approach the witness.
You may.
Officer, I'm going to hand you a copy of this document noted as defendant Exhibit 503. You can take a look at that. Tell me what that is.
Appears to be my police narrative.
Thank you. Does it look like one that you wrote?
Yes.
Okay. Just going to note paragraph, let's call it 5 because there's one sentence at the top. Can you read that paragraph for me?
I asked Fatima about.
Objection, Your Honor, calls for hearsay.
Not asking the question yet, Your Honor.
Just a moment. There is an objection. I'll sustain the objection. He's just asking you to read it to yourself,
Oh,
and then he'll ask you a question.
Thank you.
sorry.
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay, so officer, did you get a chance to read that paragraph?
Yes.
Okay, and you specifically note in there that you went to see Fatima at the hospital on the night of the 18th, right?
Correct.
And you specifically note in there that you saw no signs of petechia.
Correct.
Okay, so you know what petechia is,
I do.
and you've been trained on that.
For signs of it, yes.
Okay, and signs of petechia tend to appear when somebody has been strangled, right?
Correct.
Okay, and so, given what you knew about this case, you went and looked for those signs,
Correct.
and you did not see any.
Can you rephrase that?
You didn't see any signs of petechia.
Not at that moment.
Okay, thank you. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Could you return the exhibit to the clerk, please? Thank you. Mr. Leary, cross-examination?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for being here. You have been a patrol officer for how many years?
Approximately 5 years.
Okay. In all with the city of Lacey?
Correct.
You enjoy it?
Yeah.
What, do you rotate shifts during the days, at nights? How does that work?
No, it's we bid once a year, so just depending on what you bid at the beginning of the year.
Do you have a preference?
I mean, pros and cons to each shift.
Okay. So you were a patrol officer on October 18th, 2024, correct?
Correct.
And we've heard about your actions kind of throughout the day. Responded to a telephone call, is that correct?
Correct.
And how did that call come to you?
So earlier I talked about beats, or districts, so that it was assigned to me based on my patrol area for that morning.
So is it that a call comes into dispatch and then they connect to the
Correct.
patrol officer?
Correct.
And so this was a situation that could be handled over the telephone in theory as opposed to responding to a scene, correct?
Yes, dispatch will ask, and it depends on what the reporting party is requesting, and there's phone contacts or in-person contact.
Okay, so we heard about the phone contact and then it didn't end there. There was an in-person contact, correct?
Correct.
And then you conducted additional follow-up based on those two citizen contacts, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then were you specifically assigned to respond to Timberline High School based on your prior involvement during the day?
I was not.
So just by happenstance, call goes out, you happen to be the first one there, and you suddenly realize that this is related to what you previously were
Correct.
working on.
Correct.
Okay. So then, the difference between a patrol officer and a detective, if you had to summarize that for the jury, you would say what? Kind of in terms of duties and jobs and responsibilities.
I would just, I think they have more specific training, and they have, I guess, more time to do additional follow-ups, as we're a patrol where sometimes can jump from call to call.
So, and correct me if I'm wrong, but so like as a patrol officer, you get, on this instance, you were sent into disturbance at Timberline High School, you respond, correct?
Correct.
And so your job is to be there. Well, disturbance can mean a lot of different things, right?
Correct.
And you don't necessarily know what you're walking into, correct?
Correct.
So you're trying to figure out, okay, who do I need to talk to?
Yes.
Whose contact information do I need to preserve?
Yes.
Do I need to separate people?
Correct.
Do I need additional officers to respond?
Correct.
So when you got there, you could see that there was a civilian holding down Mr. Ali, correct?
Correct.
And Mr. Ali didn't appear to be resisting or fighting, correct?
Correct.
And you presumably knew that they were fellow officers on their way.
Correct.
So, at least from your initial impression, the situation appeared to be somewhat stabilized, right?
Yes.
No active fighting, correct?
Correct.
There were witnesses around who were at least potentially willing to speak with law enforcement, correct?
Yes.
You were able to determine where Fatima was, where Fatima was and Isaiah, correct?
Correct.
Or at least you were told where you could potentially find them, right?
Yeah. Yes.
You made contact with the Wagners, correct?
Yes.
And so then you took it upon yourself, so somebody else was going to deal with Mr. Ali, correct?
Well, I did.
Oh, so you, thank you for correcting me. So you placed him under arrest or detained him or basically
Just
took possession of him?
I detained him at that moment.
Okay. You knew that other officers were going to check inside the school, correct?
Yes.
And then over the course of the next minute's time there, you then had contact with the Wagners, correct?
Correct.
And the Wagners were the individuals, civilians who happened to stop, was your understanding, correct?
Correct.
Does somebody need water? I can't see who's. All right. So you spoke with them, correct?
Correct.
And you had them there together when you were talking to them, right?
Correct.
They were side by side.
Correct.
Sometimes it makes sense to separate people to keep their stories separate, correct?
Correct.
But in this case, you were speaking to both of them, correct?
Well, initially it was Mr. Wagner. Mrs. Wagner came into contact with us kind of after the fact.
And you got their contact information, correct?
Yes, they completed a written statement.
Okay, but before we got there, you kind of figured out who they were. I don't want to say go into what they told you, but you
Yeah.
basically figured out these people may have some information that could help me,
Correct.
at least help with the investigation.
Correct.
And you handed them witness statement forms that they filled out.
Correct.
And they wrote those statements themselves,
They did.
and then you read them over, correct?
Yes.
And in fact, you handed back Mr. Wagner his form and said, hey, I need a little more detail with respect to these particular questions, correct?
Correct.
All right. And he was willing to do that, right?
Yes.
All right. And those statements pertain to Mr. Ali, correct?
Yes.
All right. All right, so now I want to talk to, so when you went and saw Fatima at the hospital that night, was that the first time you had sat down and talked with her?
It was.
And you were able to take a recorded interview with her, right?
Correct.
And she was, by all accounts, cooperative with you, correct?
Yes.
And was able to answer your questions and provide you with that information, correct?
Yes.
All right. And did you feel like you were able to get the questions answered that you were seeking?
For that specific incident, yes.
And you wanted to have it recorded so that there was kind of, it wasn't just your word as to what she said, correct?
Correct.
All right. Now I want to go back in time to October 16th. We saw the video of you providing a copy of a no contact order, correct?
Yes.
And do you recall having that conversation with Mrs. Ali?
I do.
All right. And so, you were able to sit and listen and watch Exhibit 38, the video, correct?
Yes.
So in that video, you're attempting to talk with Ms. Ali, correct?
Yes.
And it was clear to you that she spoke some English, correct?
Correct.
It was also obvious that English was not her first language, correct?
Correct.
She didn't necessarily understand kind of who you were, correct?
It appeared that way.
She asked, are you with the school, correct?
Correct.
And I assume were you in full uniform?
I was.
All right. And she asked you, kind of, are you coming from the school, correct?
Yes.
And she said, well, my daughter doesn't go to that school anymore, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And had questions about Isaiah's family. Did the family contact you, correct?
Yes.
And at this point, all you were doing was handing over court paperwork, correct?
Correct.
And the sole purpose of that meeting was Exhibit 37, which is the proof of service, correct?
Yes.
You confirmed that the person I handed this to was Zahraa Ali, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And that's really all you were expected to do, correct?
Yes.
Right. So your job is, I'm going to go there, I'm going to hand this person, confirm that this document I'm handing is to the person who is listed as the respondent, correct?
Correct.
All right. Now, you talked about it with her, correct? We heard and saw the conversation, correct?
Yes.
And you told her that she couldn't call Isaiah, correct?
Yes.
And that she couldn't contact Isaiah, correct?
Yes.
Not to talk to these people, correct?
Correct.
And you also said, don't email, don't talk, correct?
Yes.
You never asked her if she read English, correct?
I did not.
And you saw that there was a potential language barrier, correct?
Correct.
And that is something that you're trained on, right? In terms of interacting with the public.
Correct.
And you have resources available to you, correct?
Correct.
So what's a language line?
It helps translate.
Okay, so explain that to the jury. So if you're on a call and there's a language barrier, and you need to communicate with somebody, what does the language line offer you?
It'd be just a third party person that would help translate the two languages.
Okay, and do you know where that person is from?
Can you rephrase?
I mean, so they're going to connect you with an interpreter in the city of Lacey?
I'm not sure.
Okay, I mean, it could be anywhere, right?
Correct.
And it could be at 1 o'clock in the morning,
Correct.
1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Correct.
All right. And so it gives you the ability to effectively communicate with individuals where English is not their first language, correct?
Correct.
And there was nothing that said that it wasn't available to you on October 16th, correct?
Correct.
And so the state had you take a look at the prohibitions on page 4 of 11.
Are you asking to be able to publish a portion of an exhibit?
If we could pull that up, and if I have permission to publish Exhibit 37,
You may.
36.
36.
So, are you familiar with these orders?
I am.
Okay. And so, you did not go through what is on page 4 of 11 with Ms. Ali, correct?
I did not.
Okay. So you kind of summarized it about, hey, don't call Isaiah, don't contact Isaiah, don't email, don't talk, correct?
Correct.
And so, but it's specific about distance, correct?
Correct.
About a residence, correct?
Correct.
Daycare
Correct.
and a school.
Yes.
And then it references minors named in section 3 above. That box is checked as well.
Yes.
Okay. And had you called a language line, you would have been able to have that conversation with her in her native language, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I appreciate you taking the time. Thank you.
No problem.
Redirect.
Officer Hang, just wanting to seek some clarification. The morning of October 18th of 2024, when Mr. Ali called to report Fatima as a runaway, was your first conversation with him over the phone or in person?
I believe it was over the phone.
Okay, and then at some point you went out to his residence,
Correct.
and while at his residence, you then had another conversation with him about the runaway call that he reported?
Correct.
Okay. You also, when Mr. Kading was asking you questions on cross-examination, you also talked about entering Fatima as a runaway in NCIC. What is NCIC?
It's a law enforcement database when you run somebody's name.
Okay, you said it's a law enforcement database when you run someone's name. Run someone's name for what?
For wants records, it's just, so if we as law enforcement on patrol, if you run somebody's name, it'll come back with flags that dispatch will let you know. So in case of a runaway, if a law enforcement found Fatima in Olympia and ran her name, then they would know that, hey, this subject was reported as a runaway earlier this morning by who, and to contact dad or whoever.
Okay, and is NCIC, is that a national database that law enforcement can access?
Correct.
Okay, and then you also indicated, after mentioning NCIC, you also indicated WASIC. What is that?
It's similar, but it's just specific to Washington,
To where?
to the Washington state. It's a more localized but database.
Okay, and when you say it's a similar database, I'm trying to understand your testimony. The WASIC is a Washington database where the NCIC is a equivalent, but it's a national database.
Correct.
And if I'm understanding your testimony, then WASIC is a database that only law enforcement officers in Washington can access.
Correct.
So if a law enforcement officer, let's say the Thurston County Sheriff's Office, if they decide to run Fatima's name through WASIC, it will show up that she is a runaway that was reported out at Lacey Police Department?
Yes.
Okay. And did you enter Fatima as a runaway in your system? Well, let me back up for a moment. You testified on cross-examination with Mr. Kading that you don't know the exact time as to when you entered Fatima into the system as a runaway. Was it before your arrival at the bus stop that afternoon?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Kading also asked you some questions on cross-examination about your ability to recognize petechia. Do you remember that line of question?
Yes.
Okay. And you talked earlier about your training experience in becoming a law enforcement officer. Officer Hang, do you have any medical training and experience?
Yes.
Okay. What is that?
Nothing certified, but just we do monthly trainings at the police station, and there was one that related to strangulation.
Okay. My question is, did you go to any seminars regarding strangulation?
Workshop. I don't know about a seminar.
Okay. Did you attend a 40-hour seminar that medical professionals attend when it comes to conducting strangulation examinations?
No.
Did you go to any seminars that medical professionals attend where it teaches them the signs and symptoms of strangulation?
No.
Okay. And are you a medical doctor?
I'm not.
Okay. And you indicated that when you spoke with Fatima at the emergency room, that at some point you had to get a little bit closer to her because you were having a difficult time hearing her. Is that correct?
Correct.
Approximately how close did you get to her?
I think pretty quickly I put the recorded phone off of next to her chin.
Okay. But were you yourself right next to her chin?
No.
Okay. And during when you were interviewing Fatima, did you at any point ask her to take her clothes off so you can do an examination?
I did not.
Okay. And did you actually did you actually conduct a strangulation exam on Fatima that day?
I did not.
And based on your trainings, based on the training that you received at the Lacey Police Department when it comes to strangulation, was it taught that law enforcement should do the strangulation exam, or should that be left to the medical professionals specifically trained to conduct that examination?
It'll be the latter half, the medical professionals.
Okay. And during your interview with Fatima at the emergency room, did she at any point, was she coherent during the whole entire interview?
She was.
Okay. Were there times where she appeared confused at any of the questions that you were asking her?
I don't believe so.
Okay. With regards to, I want to ask you a few questions about the service of the temporary protection order. You watched the service of the temporary protection order earlier on direct examination, is that correct?
Correct.
And do you recall there was a point when Mrs. Ali was asking you if you were with the school?
Yes.
Okay, and I believe you testified on cross-examination that, well, let me back up for a moment. Were you in your full uniform that day?
I was.
Okay, and are you aware of what school resource officers are?
Yes.
Okay, and what are school resource officers?
What are they?
Yes.
So they're uniform commissioned officer that is assigned to specific schools.
Okay, and are there specific Lacey police officers that are in fact school resource officers?
There are.
Okay, and I believe earlier on direct examination, you mentioned one of them was Officer Beltran, is that right?
Correct.
Okay, and besides Officer Beltran, are there other school resource officers that work for the Lacey Police Department but actually are assigned to the schools?
Yes,
And do you know any of their names?
I do.
And who are they?
School resource officer Howard, and currently right now school resource officer Newcomb.
Okay. And the school resource officers, when they are assigned to a specific school, when they're on shift, are they also what are they typically wearing when they're on shift?
Same uniform
Okay, when you say same uniform as who?
as patrol officers.
Okay, would it be the same uniform you were wearing the day when you served the temporary protection order?
Correct.
Okay. And at some point during the contact you had with Mrs. Ali when you were serving the protection order, I believe in the video you had indicated to her that if they come to her residence and they don't leave, then she can call law enforcement. Do you remember talking to her about that?
I do.
Okay, and you indicated that to her. What was that in response to?
Her question.
Okay, and what was she asking you?
She asked, is it appropriate for them to come to my residence?
Okay, and the they that you were talking to her about, who's they?
I would assume Isaiah and his parents.
Sustained.
Okay. When you were talking to Mrs. Ali about they coming to her residence, in what context were you talking to her about that?
Well, it sounded like there was an incident
I'm not,
prior
okay, I'm gonna stop you for a moment. What was the purpose of you being at her residence?
to serve the order.
Okay. And then when you were at her residence, was there also someone else that was talking to you as well?
Yes,
Okay, and during that conversation, did it appear to you that there was a separate conversation that was occurring between Mrs. Ali and her daughter?
yes.
Okay, no further questions.
Recross, Mr. Kading.
Thank you. Just a couple of clarifying questions. You indicated that when you send a report into NCIS and WASC, that's so you can have the parents contacted when their child's found?
No,
That isn't. Okay. So you send in the notification, and then what happens after that? The police know that she's missing, right?
correct.
And if she's reported missing, then they'll know where she is.
Rephrase that, please.
The police will know where she is as soon as they find out from another agency or themselves, right?
Correct.
Okay. And then they call the parents at that point so they can come and pick them up, right?
Correct.
Okay. Because they're children and they're runaways, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. No further questions.
Mr. Larry Recross.
Just briefly. So, if I call and report that my 18-year-old is a runaway, would the procedure be the same?
No.
Because we draw a distinction between someone who's over 18 and under 18, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so because the report involves somebody who is under the age of 18, that's why you entered it into NCIC and WASC, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then on the issue of the school resource officer, so the question was, are you with the school, correct?
Yes.
And you said no.
Correct.
And you didn't identify yourself as a school resource officer, correct?
Correct.
So your communication to my client was that this had nothing to do with the school, correct?
I don't know if I understand that question.
Well, she asked you, are you with the school? You said no, correct?
Correct.
You never told her to stay away from the school, correct?
Correct.
And that this all had to do with Isaiah and his family and to not have contact with them, Isaiah individually, correct?
Correct.
So she asked you, is this about the school? And you said no.
I don't know if I specifically said no.
Okay. And I don't want to put words in your mouth, right? But she said, are you with the school? And you said no,
Correct.
So the impression that was left, that you communicated to her, was that this was separate from anything to do with the school, correct?
I can't assume what.
Okay. You were serving a court order, correct?
Correct.
It wasn't coming from the school, correct?
Correct.
The petitioner wasn't the principal or the school, correct?
Correct.
This is entirely involving Isaiah Williams and his family, correct?
Correct.
Okay, nothing further.
Any further redirect?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
May this witness be excused?
Subject to recall.
All right. You may step down. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Call your next witness, please. I'm going to place you under oath. Will you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be true and correct?
Yes.
Please be seated. Ms. Stone, you may inquire when you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you?
Good.
Can you please state your name and spell your last name for the record?
Yes, my name is Mary Wagner, last name Wagner.
And are you employed, ma'am?
I am.
How so?
I work for Pierce County Planning and Public Works.
And are you familiar with the area of Timberline High School located at 6120 Mullen Road Southeast?
Yes,
Is that in Lacey, Washington?
it is.
Were you in or around that area on October 18th, 2024, shortly after 2 p.m.?
Yes, I was.
And did anything of significance occur in that area that you observed on that date and time?
Yes.
And, well, first of all, where were you coming from? Why were you in that area?
My husband and I were coming back from a late lunch that we had that day. We were driving down the road in front of Timberline High School back to our house, and we saw an altercation on the side of the road.
Okay, and when you say on the side of the road, which side of the road?
On the high school side of the road.
Okay.
There's a public bus stop there, and it was right around the public bus stop.
Okay. And you said you were in your vehicle driving at the time?
Yes.
What kind of truck is that?
It's a Ram 2500 pickup truck with
What
a cab.
color?
It's like a dark gray color. My husband was driving it. I was in the passenger seat.
And who is your husband?
Josh Wagner.
And what did you do when you observed that incident? What was your first action?
Well, as we were driving up, we saw there were several people involved, and we thought that it was possibly a high school altercation. And so we pulled into the left turn lane in front of the high school and stopped, and my husband got out and crossed the road.
And where were you at that time?
As soon as he pulled in, I was still in the passenger seat. When he stepped out of the vehicle and crossed the road, I climbed over the console in the middle of the truck and went over to the passenger side.
And what happened next?
Well, my husband kind of disappeared into a group of people, and I got out of the vehicle, and I called 911. And
Well, let me ask you a question. Why did you call 911?
there was quite a bit of screaming that was going on from the situation, and I heard several people say some rather alarming things, and that 911 should be called, so I did.
When you say people, hear people say alarming things, what do you mean by that?
Do you want me to say specifically what I
Yes,
heard?
please.
I did hear, these were mostly teenagers that I heard yelling. There were sentences such as, her eyes are rolling in the back of her head, she can't breathe, someone call 911, let go. Everyone seemed in a panic of, like, everything that everyone said was a very panic-stricken tone.
Okay. Your Honor, may I approach?
You may.
Ms. Wagner, I'm going to show you what's been admitted as State's Exhibits 1 and 3. Ask you to look at those silently to yourself for a moment and then look up at me when you're done, please. Do you recognize what I've handed you there?
Yes.
And what did I hand you?
You handed me an aerial view further away and then one slightly closer up of the bus stop right in front of Timberline High School.
And do you recognize those areas
Yes.
specifically? Okay.
Specifically, yes.
Is this the area that you were just referring to as traveling down on or about October 18th, 2024, shortly after 2 p.m.?
Yes.
Okay. gonna take those back from you. May I retrieve them, Your Honor?
You may.
And may I publish, Your Honor?
Yes.
Showing you State's Exhibit 1. Ms. Wagner? And we'll give that a moment. You have, may I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
You have a pointer here, ma'am. This dot has a cursor. You just have to give it a second. There's a delay, okay?
This one right here.
Yeah, the circle.
Okay.
Just give it a second. It'll pop. You see it?
Oh, okay.
Ms. Wagner, can you, well, first of all, what are we looking at here? Let me zoom out just a little bit. And then we'll let that recalibrate itself, so to speak. Okay, what are we looking at here, ma'am?
Well, this is Timberline High School,
Mhm.
and this is Mullen Road. And I'm trying to get it, sorry, where did it go?
It's all the way at the top.
Is it? Oh, okay. This is the bus stop right here. And in the middle of Mullen Road, there's a left-hand turn lane to turn into the school.
Okay, I'm gonna show you State's Exhibit
In just
3.
a moment, the witness was using the cursor to highlight the high school, the bus stop, which is an icon on that exhibit, and the road directly next to the bus stop.
And where you were pointing was about center of the page towards the bottom, is that correct?
I'm sorry, I don't understand. About towards
Sure,
center
when we
of the
say
page?
center of the page towards the bottom of the
Oh, towards the
photograph.
bottom, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Showing you what's been admitted as State's Exhibit 3. And do you recognize this area?
I do.
Okay, and what area is this?
Am I, this right here is the bus stop that I mentioned. This is right in front of Timberline High School. Right there, this is the left-hand turn lane that we drove into and then parked. Or put on our hazards, rather.
Okay.
So.
And when you parked,
I'm sorry, and the witness was using the pointer around the center of the exhibit.
thank you, Your Honor. I'll take that back. And so when you parked in that location, you said Josh got out of the car, is that correct?
That's correct.
So what happened next?
Well, Josh got out of the truck and he crossed the road. And I moved over into the driver's seat and dialed 911. And then I was on the phone with 911 and I was telling them that there was an altercation that was taking place and that somebody was hurt. And did you want to know what I saw or what I did?
I'm going to ask you the next
Okay.
question. Okay. And how long do you think you got out of the truck after Josh got out of the truck?
Within a minute or two.
Okay. What do you recall observing initially, whether you were in the vehicle or out of the vehicle? What's the first thing you remember seeing?
In the vehicle from the passenger side before I crossed over into the driver's side, like I said, we both saw what appeared to be a fight. There were several people involved. It looked like there was a young man and then some other teenagers that were kicking, punching somebody that was down on the ground. After Josh got out of the vehicle and I moved over to the driver's side, I was able to see what appeared to be a man on the ground with a young woman that he had subdued somehow. There were teenagers that appeared to be kicking him and punching the man, but again, there was a lot of commotion. So I don't know how many teenagers were doing it, but
Sure.
but that was kind of the setup of the situation.
And
So.
you said that there was a young woman. Where did you see this young woman?
The young woman, she was on the ground.
And on the ground where?
On the ground in front of the man.
And when you say in front of the man, can you describe to me what you mean? Like underneath the man, on top of the man? Were they standing up, sitting down? What does that look like?
They were on the ground, and what it looked like was that the man had, and I couldn't see if it was a young woman yet, because she had hair in her face, and there was dust coming up. But what appeared to be is his arm was around her neck. And her, like I said, her face, she had hair on her face, and then I feel like she was wearing a pair of pants too. So initially, like I said, I couldn't see if it was a young woman or a young man, but I learned quickly thereafter, after she got up, that it was a young girl.
And what is Josh doing during this time?
When Josh crossed the street, he disappeared into the group of people, and then he was pushing people aside to get down to what was the source of all of the conflict.
And do you recall if he pushed, who did he push aside?
So there was the man that was holding the young woman, and then there were other teenagers that were hitting the man. And then there were also 2 other women that were trying to get in the way of the teenager who was hitting the man. And then Josh was pushing everyone aside, and he got down to the man who was holding the young woman on the ground. And at that point, that's when yes. So I don't know how much further, sorry, I don't know how much of the story you want, or if there's initial questions that you want me to stop for. Okay.
So as I understand where you're at right now, have you exited the vehicle yet, or are you still in the vehicle? Do you remember?
At this point, I had exited the vehicle, but I was still standing next to the vehicle, and I was on the phone with 911, and I was describing to them what I was seeing.
Okay, and as you're watching this, you've described to other women. Were they adult women, or teens, or kids, or something else?
It appeared to be an older woman, and then a teenage age woman.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how were they dressed, if you remember?
So both of them were dressed all in black, and both had a headscarf on.
And when you saw them appear, did you see them doing anything to help assist the women on the ground?
No. What it seemed to me is that they were trying to stop the teenagers from hitting the man in that situation. So no, I didn't see them trying to stop stop. I'm afraid of the words to use. Assault. I'm sorry. Can I say that? Is that okay to say?
That's what you saw, though. Is
Yes.
that correct? Okay.
Yeah.
Did you ever actually cross the street?
I did.
And what do you recall seeing when you crossed the street?
When I crossed the street, I saw that the young woman who had been held down on the ground, she was being pulled up, and she was stumbling behind the trees. She was stumbling off, just kind of running away. It was what it looked like, but her footing was very bad, and so she was stumbling across in front of me. And then there was the young man who had been punching the older man on the ground, and he was going with her, kind of pulling her off to the side. The 2 women that were dressed in black, they followed her. At that point, Josh had subdued the man on the ground at that point. So Josh was over in the trees. He was over there, and I saw the woman stumble across in front of me. And
I'm going to have you hit pause for a moment. When you
Yes.
say the women stumble across in front of you, and I know that, first of all, do you know any of these individuals?
I don't know any of them personally, no.
Okay.
No.
And so I know that we are using a lot of young man, young woman,
Yes.
the woman. I know that can be difficult. So I'm going to ask you to do a couple of things for me.
Okay.
First, I'm going to ask you to slow down just a little bit, okay?
Okay.
And so when you are talking about the young woman stumbled, which young woman are you referring to?
Do you want me to give them a name?
No.
Or, no. Okay.
I'm sorry, so you can't ask questions.
Oh,
But
okay.
if you can't answer the question that's asked, you can say that and she will ask it in another way.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask, since you don't know any of these people individually, and I don't want you to testify about something that you may have learned later regarding names,
Mhm.
I'm going to ask you to only use the description of the individuals that you saw at the time. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so starting first with the young woman that you described on the ground, where did she go?
She was pulled up and crossed in front of me to my left. So this was happening on the right side of me, and she crossed in front of me to the left side of me. The young man that had been punching the older man on the ground, he went with her and was pulling her. The two women that were initially at the scene that were both dressed in black, both the older woman and the younger woman, they followed the woman who, or the young woman who had been pulled up from the ground.
Okay, I'm gonna have you pause.
Okay.
Okay. And did you see how the two women wearing black, or all in black, how were they interacting with the young woman that had just stood up, that had been on the ground?
They seemed to be trying to.
Objection as to speculation as to what they're trying to do as opposed to what they did.
I'm going to sustain as to non-responsive.
So, not assuming or speculating about what they did, what did you observe? What did it appear to you that you observed?
They were
happening?
running toward the young woman who had just gotten up off the ground, and the young man was trying to prevent them from getting to her.
And what was the young woman doing specifically?
She was stumbling and running in the opposite direction of where she had come from.
Okay, was she running back towards either woman in black?
No, she was running away.
Okay. And so when you got across the street, well, let me back up. How did the young woman seem to you when you saw her? The young woman who had been on the ground, and I believe you described earlier the older man had had his arms around her.
She seemed in,
As to calls for speculation as to her condition.
Overruled.
That means you can answer. How did she seem to you? How did she appear?
she appeared incredibly confused.
And what do you mean by that? What does that look like?
She seemed to not know what her surroundings were. She was like I said, she was in kind of a panic. At one point, there was a slight altercation between the women that were wearing black and the young man who was assisting the young woman who was on the ground. And at that point, I ran. I was in the middle of the street at that point, but I ran across and started screaming at everybody to just stop, because there was still fighting going on. And the young woman she turned around and looked at me, and her eyes were huge. I mean, she had hair in her face. She looked completely disheveled. She looked very confused, absolutely terrified. And she looked at me and then turned the opposite direction and ran towards the high school. So she didn't say any words or anything to me. So.
And initially or earlier in your direct, I believe you used the phrase she was not sure-footed.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by that?
She was stumbling. She could not stay on her feet. She was trying to run, but was falling, tripping over herself.
And how, I'll come back to that question. So you said you called 911 during this, is that correct?
I called 911 before I left the truck, yes.
Okay. And did you stay on with 911 throughout that interaction?
I did.
Okay. What did you do? At some point, did you, what happened to the vehicle? What happened to your truck?
So after the young woman ran off towards the high school, the young man who was with her went that direction as well. And then I went back to the truck, and I pulled the truck into the high school parking lot. I was on the phone with 911, and they had informed me that police were almost there. So I pulled into the parking lot and stayed there until police arrived.
Thank you. And I want to go back to when you described how you observed the older man on the ground with the later, as you know, younger female or younger woman on the ground. You made a gesture earlier in trying to describe that. Can you describe what that gesture was? How was he holding her?
What I saw was her head was right about here.
So Can you describe it with words and
Describe
not?
it with words, yes, absolutely.
So let me just explain something. So
Yes.
we have a court reporter.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I know it's very difficult to talk slower, but our court reporter has to write down everything that is happening.
Okay,
So we have to describe what's happening as if you were reading it from a piece of paper.
okay,
Okay?
Yep.
So if you can slow down just a little bit more.
okay.
And then describe what you were seeing.
What I was seeing was a head with with hair in the face in the elbow area of an arm. So the head was in between a bicep and the bicep and the forearm, I suppose. That's the area that I saw the head, her head.
And when you said you observed these, the young male striking the older man, or the adult male, and the other kids engaged, were their strikes effective in releasing the young woman from the adult male?
They were not effective.
Do you recall the older woman dressed all in black saying anything about the girl on the ground?
I did not hear anything that was audible, no.
Okay. How would you describe the build of the young female that had been on the ground?
She was a petite woman, young girl. I'm almost 5'9", and I was quite a bit taller than her. So she was slender.
And how would you describe the adult male in terms of build and size?
He appeared to be a larger man. The entire time that I saw him, he was either close to being on the ground or on the ground. So I didn't get a full, I didn't get a, side by side.
Sure. And do you recall if the adult male was saying anything at the time?
Not that I was able to hear, no.
Okay. And where did Josh go once if anywhere, once the younger female had been released?
Josh stayed in where he was. He stayed next to the man that was on the ground.
Okay. And did you make contact with law enforcement?
I did after they arrived, yes.
Okay. And did you provide a statement to law enforcement?
I did.
Ms. Wagner, how would you describe the fullness of your statement today in comparison to the statement you gave to law enforcement?
I would say as close as it could be.
Okay. And would it be fair to say you've provided more details today?
Yes.
Okay. And why is that?
Well, you were able to show me the map so I can pinpoint exactly the location. And the questions that you asked me, when the police asked me to give a statement, they just said, tell us everything that you think is important. And so I wrote that down, and there weren't any other additional questions. So.
Thank you. And I want to show you some still shots.
Actually, Ms. Stone, I think that we'll do that after our afternoon recess. You can just stay where you're at. Members of the jury, the bailiff is going to come forward and lead you back to the jury room for our afternoon break, which will be about 15 minutes. Thank you very much for your time and attention.
Call the cops! Somebody call the cops! He needs to get off of her!